There's been a lot of
90,000 followers.
There's been a lot of buzz around town. I've heard many people say this is the best podcast they've ever heard by 2 Minnesota chiropractors in the southwest region of the metro. I think those were
those are our moms.
Yeah.
Dear girl, I am a doctor.
These go to 11. Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Did we just become best friends?
Yep!
The skeleton ran out of shampoo in the shower.
1.21 gigawatts! This is a house of learned doctors. You're not a doctor.
Gigawatts. Hey, we're going to talk about 1.21 gigawatts, especially how it relates to Softwave.
Is that what we're talking about today?
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. As always, myself, Dr. Zach Mashinsky, and to my right, viewing left, Dr. Mitchell Evenson. And then Richie, the man is here as always.
Camera
and
1, 2, 3. We
have a special guest here today, newest member of the Midwest Chiro family, Des. And Des, she is our Softwave Technician. She does a little bit of everything, and she's been great. Awesome to have on the team. So welcome to the podcast, too. I mean, This is like kind of a big deal. Yeah, if you
it's probably going to be the highlight of your 20s.
Yeah. If you get like 88 new followers, you're welcome.
Directly from the teat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And some new digs in the studio. New
upgraded.
Table.
This table, does anyone want to guess the year that this table was produced?
How do you know?
Well, I know.
There's a timestamp on it, and it's actually really cool.
I'm going to go with not even 19th century.
I'll just say what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because
I'm just trying to throw you off.
Right.
It's like Antique Roadshow.
1951.
Wrong. Des.
1938.
Wrong. You know already.
Yeah, I do know.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
1976. Our country's bicentennial.
Sure is. Cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history in this table.
So this is an American table.
Abraham Lincoln crafted it.
What do you think it's made out of?
Wood.
That's a very good answer.
Table material.
Yeah, table wood. And this is chair wood.
Anyways, today we're talking about Softwave TRT, which is a modality we added to our office 9 months ago, so December of 2022. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit of some patient cases, the technical side of it, and just kind of overall chat of it. So, being Des is our Softwave tech, and she's relatively newer. She's going to add in hopefully some cool cases that you've seen so far, and we'll just kind of touch on it. So yeah, let's get into Softwave a little bit. And where do we even begin?
How did we even find out about
Probably
Softwave?
From the start, yeah. So the way we found out about Softwave was from a friend of mine, Dr. Adam Lowe. We just talked, and he had this therapy in his office for some time, and he was just telling me, raving about kind of the benefits of it with patients. I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to be one of those like therapies that are just like, okay. But then I was having some like wrist and shoulder issues, and I had messaged him. I'm like, hey, like, tell me more about this. So from there, I found another doctor that has it about an hour from here, and started chatting with him, and went and got my wrist taken care of. And even after one session, I'm like, holy crap, like, what is this? And for me, the big, not only like the decrease in pain, increased range of motion, big thing for me is like, I could feel it. And for me, like, I gotta feel it. Like, I want to feel it, like, good or bad, because I've worked in a clinic that has cold laser, and we've talked about this how many times. Like, cold laser is great. Like, there's so many benefits to it in so many different cases, but there's something, you don't really feel it. You kind of have to trust it, right? Yeah, like, I understand the science behind it. Like, it works great, love it, but ultimately, it's kind of this trust to be like, oh, it's working.
That's really hard to, sorry to interject, like, that's kind of hard to do as a patient.
One time.
Sorry.
Cash your ticket.
Like,
Yeah.
But like just how you had said, like, you have to trust it. So now imagine like you're going in, you're hurt, you're already like at your wit's end with not knowing what to do, and now you're being told, well, you have to trust the process.
Right.
No.
You can, and I knew it. Like as a chiropractor, I knew the benefits of it. But there's something. As soon as I had Softwave, it's like got on the spot right away within like
Tangible.
10 seconds of being on it. And I'm like, that is it. And just ripped on it.
I feel like everybody has a very similar first experience with Softwave. Would you say like all the patients come back and be like, that first time was like,
if it's indicated, yes.
If it's indicated. Yeah, every case is a little bit different. Majority of people, I mean, I don't know percentage-wise, but majority of people will notice an improvement to some extent. And from there, I'm like, this is cool. You know, Mitch and I were talking about adding another therapy of sorts to our clinic. I'm like, yeah, we're getting it.
Okay.
The technology of it, I guess we could take a step back. So that was my first experience with it. Do you want to talk about your first experience, and then I'll get into like the history of the technology?
Yeah, he does. Look at him. He's biting his lip.
I'm percolating with information that was also a burp that might have came out. So we won't know. Yeah, I went to the same doc. I've had some patellar / foot issues for like 2 years, just plantar pain. I wouldn't call it plantar fasciitis, but I had a similar experience where the doc kind of applied the therapy on the area. And I was like, yeah, that's a different thing. And I felt very encouraged after my first visit because I was like, my foot felt awake. Like it just kind of felt dead almost for the last few months. I was just kind of dealing with it. So I got really excited and I worked out and I did some heavier deadlifts. Not as heavy as Pat, of course. But I really felt the effects after that. It's not recommended to do vigorous lifting after your first treatment, especially.
Yeah.
But I was like, something is definitely different, and that was the stimulus. So that was my experience. And how many sessions did you have with your wrist initially?
One.
Yeah.
One. And I'm like, yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
Like selfishly, I want it for me.
But I mean, like in total, like my first treatment, like I kind of did the course of 8, and then I had to do like a appended. Like mine was, I guess my case would be one of those where it's like it helped, but I had to do more. Where like I think it was kind of like
was pretty
done.
quick. It was like 4, and then I did the full treatment, and I have no issues. God dang, you guys!
I'm sorry. I
can
edit these things in
You guys,
or out.
my mom's sensitive to swears. Swears
holding that in
body.
the whole time.
God.
Gross, you guys.
Burping. She's gonna say
damn zebias.
burping and farting and pooping.
A bunch of sailors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did treatment. And Des, you had obviously your first session with it last week. So
Yes, I
what
did.
what was your experience? Where did we treat and what did you notice?
So we've been treating my wrist, and then just recently we did my back. So my wrist, literally, that first time where you just get on it and it is just
It's there.
spicy. Yes, spicy, zesty, all the flavors.
It's like a Dorito.
But
But it's a different type of pain.
but it's a good kind of pain. Like it's not the pain that brought me in, but it's definitely, I can feel something is going on, like in a good way.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I didn't work out. Like I didn't do upper body movements that day, but the next day I had done I was just doing like planks up on my hands, and I didn't notice the pressure. I didn't notice sometimes I get tinglies that just kind of move everywhere. I didn't have any of that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's different.
So yeah,
Like you felt it.
and that was literally just after my first one.
Richie, let's hear your first
You guys
experience
don't want
with
to hear
stuff.
about mine.
Okay. Anyways, let's
move on.
So
Moving on. I do want to tell it. Mine is very similar. I have a lot of injuries, but I think the shoulder was the biggest thing where I just felt like it was on a cloud. After I had full range
You
of
had the
motion.
classic shoulder. This feels better.
Yes.
Movement.
Yeah.
like right after
And it
first
lasted.
treatment.
That was the thing for me. It lasted, and then I could tell that there was I was getting ahead of the game for the first time with my shoulder by doing
It's the
Softwave.
Cialis of healing.
That should be like our
That's
Lasts more.
like Midwest Chiropractic. Stay ahead of the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Midwest Chiropractic. Stay ahead of the game.
Just dub it.
Just dub it. Copy paste. Put it all over. So cool. Well, those are all of our stories. So let's get into like what Softwave is.
Hey Zach, what is Softwave?
Wow, I'm so glad you asked. Well,
I too am curious.
Is it?
huh?
Boy, is it? It's what people call it, shockwave, like they're sound wave.
You talk to certain docs, they will punch you in the face if you call it shockwave.
Oh man!
But let's not.
There's a
split
reason.
hairs.
There's a reason why.
Yeah. Because
we can get into that.
Yeah, we can get into that. So Softwave is a company that produces a device that's very high-tech shockwave, but it uses a hypersonic sound wave, hypersonic acoustic sound wave. And essentially what it is, it's electric hydraulically produced sound wave. So it's siphoning water through it. That makes it unique. Cool. But it's essentially what it has is it's an electrode that's in a handheld device that when it's electrified,
Insert.
Oh yeah.
When it's electrified, it produces a sound wave. And the sound wave travels through a water medium. It's where the water is getting pumped through. And it travels at 3,355 miles per hour.
It's 1 gigawatt.
Like a cheetah.
1.21.
It's a conversion.
It's conversion. It's science. It's boring, but
Dewey Decimal Systems.
So why that's beneficial is when it goes into tissue, tendons, ligaments, meniscus, labrums, muscles. What else? Yeah. Other soft tissues. It creates this vibration of the tissue or this micro shearing that mimics an injury without causing tissue damage.
This is the shearing.
Yep. Ed Sheeran.
No, listen. You can hear the sound.
Darling, I will be loving you.
Yeah. Baby,
Baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23.
I quit. I'm going home.
Yes.
I don't want this anymore.
Can I ask a question about the brand Softwave?
No.
Okay, I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
And I want you to answer it because I think it's important for those viewers out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't want to say knockoff, but like variations in Softwave treatment therapy. And would you guys say you have this is the Cadillac, right?
Yeah, I'd say we have the upper hand with most devices. Part of the reason is it's unfocused sound shockwave, so we can target a larger area but still get really precise in areas. So compared to other devices, I think it just the intensity without causing more pain is there. It's just higher powered machine. I think there's other devices that create more of a mechanical shockwave, so more of like an impulse versus a sound wave that can actually like not be great for the tissues. It can create more irritation of them. But the depth that we can treat is there's nothing else that touches it really. So yeah, device wise, there's a lot of docs that are really apt with this information, like the differences. But the biggest thing is as I mentioned, and then if you look from a physics standpoint, when that shockwave produces, it's a really high uptick. So a high amplitude of the sound wave. And what that does is it compresses from a cellular level, it compresses the cell, and it has a steep down slope. Like if you look at the logo, that's what it is. If you've seen that.
Kind of looks like
high,
an EKG.
It looks like a heartbeat almost. So it goes up really high and it comes down really, really quick, and it goes past the x-axis, which creates this almost negative vacuum from a cell till it expands it, and then there's another uptick. And that amplitude that it goes is what they find is like one of the bigger differences between devices too. So cool. Higher intensity, but not as increased pain. So it's eliciting that response to your brain to tell your brain, hey, there's an injury here. We should start sending some nutrients, some healing chemicals to this area. So the immediate effects is it increases blood flow to the area. Studies have shown that it increases that by up to 300%.
Yeah, the vessel size change.
Vessel size, angiogenesis, which is creation of blood vessels. There's research behind that too. So we get that immediate benefit, and then talk about the other benefits, the other kind of 3 key
Yeah,
benefits
on that level, like with the chemical exchange, the cells actually, the ports that those chemicals shift through, they expand as well, so the cells become more permeable or can accept and shunt out the good and bad stuff. So that's something I like to key on in with patients. Stem cell production, that's a huge thing. Basically, it's telling the juvenile cells in the area to hey, turn on and start healing.
Start going to this area.
So yeah, what else? I wasn't
activates collagen, right? I mean, that's what's FDA approved for, activating collagen, which is the building blocks of everything.
And then the peripheral neuropathy thing, that was a recent patent too that they just came out
peripheral neuropathy. Yep, it's great with especially that blood pathway, gets them there. And then breaking up scar tissue. So it's something, every case is a little bit different. There might be more benefit of any of those areas with different cases, right? So if people have an old chronic injury, your body naturally, what it does is it's gonna heal that area, but it does that by creating scar tissue. Scar tissue will limit normal function of that joint, right? So if we can start to normalize that mess of scar tissue, that's gonna help function. It's gonna help healing, right? And if we start to increase stem cell and activation of collagen in that area, that's that's the regenerative benefits of this therapy too. So I mean, it's really recruiting, it's healing your body from the inside. It's just taking the right nutrients and healing those areas.
But on a teeter-totter scale, some people don't need to be adjusted as much. They maybe need more healing and stability than immobilization therapy. So
in addition to that, on the other side of that coin, I think it's also strengthened our chiropractic recommendations, because we've had people that come in, we have specific advertisements for just Softwave. So people will come in for Softwave, and through our assessment, we might be like, hey, you might actually get better results just with an adjustment on this, which, from a business standpoint,
super nice.
Softwave is much more expensive than adjustment. So it's a good, diagnostic for us to be like, hey, you can probably get benefit with Softwave, but I think we might get more bang for our buck if we have, a few sessions of chiropractic, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And why I think Chiro and Softwave pairing it together, it's like the chiropractic side, similar like what Tyler was talking about with his therapy. It's like we adjust things, we check the motion, we make sure everything's mechanically balanced. And then the tissues that are holding everything together, if they have an issue itself, like where the tendon attaches to the bone, this is what Softwave really helps with. Because we have people in the past, clinically, I sometimes felt hamstrung a little bit with those acute injuries that needed, we just got to let things heal. We generally never tell somebody to stop doing an activity unless it's really caustic or that's the mechanism of injury.
Or running.
Or handstands.
Dr. Andrew.
Yeah, Dr. Andrew will get you on here.
We're sending people to you.
So for me, I really enjoy it. If someone comes in with a new bum knee, I'm like, yes, let's adjust it and let's do some Softwave, because not every chiropractor is adjusting an extremity joint either, like a wrist adjustment or whatever. So it was something that I felt filled a void in my clinical care that before I was just like, there's some time that needs to be had, ice, heat, supplements.
Do you think did it fill your void?
It filled my cup
up.
Feel
complete.
You complete me.
I just wanna tell you
Should we do a Sheeran my hand top bottom?
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
It's like we made a fire from all the friction there.
Friction. If people aren't getting better, it's either not the right therapy for them or not hitting the right spot. So it's time, if we notice that, we're good at okay, let's reassess. Let's start fresh. Let's re-examine. Otherwise, we should be seeing that improvement. But I was going to say to you, the nice thing about this therapy is there's not really downtime, right? We can treat somebody, you can go do your normal activities. We don't push it over, but it's not like, oh yeah, we're going to do this therapy and you can't do anything for the next 2 weeks. It's like, no, go be a human still. It's going to feel better. People always ask and don't know what conditions we can treat with Softwave. And I tell people sometimes, I'm like, I kind of feel like a snake oil salesman sometimes, because I'm like, what do you, anything, you just
rub it on.
You just get in the room, like we can treat anything.
Have you seen our new elixir?
There's so many applications to it. It's just like crazy, and they're just finding more and more applications by the week. So the most common stuff we see is any tendonitis, tendinopathies, anywhere. That's
any itises.
Any itises, really. Let's talk about a couple cases.
Yeah.
Here's a case. It's black and it has handles.
How about that 30-pack of beer over there?
Yeah. The coolest thing I saw was a total knee replacement being treated. So she was 2-3 weeks out.
Yeah, your mind was blown.
I was
like, how does this work? How do you do it?
I was amazed at her progress, because I am still actively like interning and volunteering in hospital settings and clinic settings for PT. So I've observed a lot of total knee, like that rehab process. And where she was, like, she's able to bend her knee at 90. She has full extension of her knee, and she's only 2 weeks out. I have seen, like, the way she's moving her body, people are 4, 5, 6 months out looking like that.
It's a cheat code.
And I'm just completely blown away, because like she still has her surgical bandage on, and she's walking, no cane, no pain, and I'm like,
she forgot her cane here one day.
No pain, no pain.
She came
and I'm just like,
she came in with her cane, and then she forgot.
She forgot it.
Midwest Chiropractic.
Yeah,
you probably forget your cane.
Yeah.
Leave
your cane here.
Just knowing, like, just from observing the past, like, really 8 months, like following different PTs and like specifically like knee replacements, one of the most painful surgeries you can get, and she's happy skipping to only 2. She doesn't even have the bandage off.
I know.
I was
she wanted to take it off the other
she
day.
did.
She's like, can you take this off?
She's like, can we just take this off? And I was like, please don't do that.
Not here.
Just like,
I
don't have words. Just completely amazing.
Yeah, so post-surgical, we can go right over post-surgical sites. Unlike ultrasound will generate heat in that joint. This we can go right over metal. It doesn't generate heat, but we can get that inflammation flushed out. In post-surgical cases, number one, we got to make sure that somebody's a candidate for this therapy. So what we offer to people is a $49 discovery session. It's a discounted rate, and it allows that person to, first off, feel the therapy, right? Because like we said, it's something about feeling it and knowing that this is going to be a solution for you. But we got to figure that out too, so that we can give appropriate recommendations. Game plan moving forward, if this is going to take a couple of visits or it's going to take a little bit longer time, we gather that information. And it just gives us that opportunity to see if this is the right fit and give people some hope. It's the biggest thing. We just had somebody, they're like, oh man, I'm really hopeful. Like, I'm hopefully optimistic. We just had somebody today. Hope. Yeah. Just because a lot of people have been dealing with stuff for decades, like what, who we saw today. It's like decades.
Yeah.
It's like,
not acceptable.
There's more that we can do. So that's what we extend that offer to everyone.
Anything else? Any final quips? Do you want to hear a joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you've heard it. Wallace's new joke.
Oh gosh. I love kid jokes. Let's hear it.
What do you call?
Can you do it in Wallace's voice?
No, I'll give you the proper
the proper joke,
and then I'll show you how Wallace presents it.
Yeah, great.
Because you don't know what's happening. It just hits you in the face.
Yeah.
What do you call a 3-humped camel?
Is it a pregnant camel?
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
But Wallace, he'll go. I don't know if I can even do it. He's 4 and he's excitable and he uses his hands really good right now.
Nice.
He's like, Dad, we gotta go outside. We gotta get on that swing. And we gotta go. But it's great. So he'll go. 3-hump camel, pregnant. You can't say pregnant. How's it pregnant? Something. It kind of changes. Yeah. But yeah,
he gets the whole line to the
3-hump camel pregnant.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, we gotta work on comical
timing.
It's
all about timing.
What do you call a chicken that crossed the road? Or why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh, you already messed it up.
I know, I already messed it up. That's embarrassing. Why did the chicken cross the road?
What do you call a chicken that crosses the road? Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road, Des?
Because
I heard that one recently. Did you say that in clinic?
Can we end this podcast soon?
Please.
The wrap.
That is a wrap on the tab.
Thanks, everybody.
It was good.
Please come back.
Yeah.
Please
Sorry.
Please don't judge your
We'll
last
do
15
better.
seconds.
We'll do better the next time.
No, it won't.
This is a house of learned doctors. You're not a doctor.
The whole year through.